Hey everybody, this is Stuart with Wine on the Dime, and today I'm going to be reviewing this 2021 Ardoit. It is 12.9% alcohol by volume, and if you want to take a look at this as well as some of their other wines, you can go to the website, or you can also go to PinkSociety tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central on Twitter. Just search hashtag PinkSociety. Make sure if you tweet, you include the hashtag as well, and you're now part of the group. So they were kind enough to send this to me. Well, you know what we should do? Let's get into it. So this wine is predominantly, if not 100%, I don't know the exact spec for it, Trousseau. So this is a grape that is really most notable for being used in port in Portugal. It's also known as Bastardo. So I just thought that was a funny thing, and me being the nerdy slash irreverent slash 5-year-old that I am, I think that's a funny grape name. But anyway, I can't remember the last time I've had a dry wine made from this grape, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays on the palate. So from a color standpoint, pale ruby, no artifacts, minor cloudiness. All right, on the nose. So first thing I'm kind of getting here is a little bit of like a cherry, a little bit of a cranberry. There is this is going to be one of those things that bugs me. There is a very specific note here, but I am having a hard time finding it. I would say there is a very minor, kind of a barnyard, almost like a very minor Brettanomyces note. So this is getting really kind of weird in terms of the way I'm going to describe this, because I really can't think of a way to describe that thing that I'm having a hard time describing other than it's like a 70 to 80% completed fermentation Sangio grape. Like, it almost has this kind of like slight meatiness to it. There's a little bit of like a funk, but you can tell that it's like trying to transition into something. I'm just having a hard time kind of giving a good description of it. There's also a little bit of like a kind of wet earth, wet soil type note. Not mud, just kind of like potting soil. And maybe like a touch of an herb, probably leaning just a little bit towards the rosemary. There's also like, as I'm kind of letting it open up, I'm also getting a touch of like, a very, very minor touch of like pine leaves. Yeah, so I don't know if my nose is off or if this is what it's gonna be, but the only way to know is to taste it. So let's go. Okay, so it's a light-bodied wine. Alcohol taste low. The intensity on the palate is medium plus. The tannins are, this is a little bit difficult. I'm gonna say they're medium, but they are a little rough on the approach going into the mid palate. As they go into the finish, they kind of chill out a bit. They don't stick around for very long though. They don't like really coat your mouth and tear it up. So that's why I'm leaning more towards medium. They could still use a little bit of softening, but you know what? Some aeration will kind of help take care of that. In terms of the primary elements are there. They're actually more tart than I anticipated. I kind of felt like on the nose here a little bit more juicier, not like overripe, but just kind of like where they should be. On the palate, they do have that sort of flavor, but they also have like a little bit of a sour undertone with it. The acid is medium plus acid, and those secondary characteristics are actually a little bit more subdued on the palate than they are the nose. They're still there, but I think I'm getting them a little bit more on the nose. And in terms of kind of like that funky, not totally done Sangiovese type of grape note, it doesn't present at all on the palate. So if you're worried about the wine tasting funky, no, it's just something that's on the nose. I will say though, going into the mid palate and on the finish, that kind of potting soil note really picks up and actually adds a little bit of nice complexity to kind of balance out a little bit of those sour fruit notes. So that is quite nice. So how good is it? Well, we don't know until we get to the blick. So from a balance standpoint, I'm gonna give you a full point. Now I would say that with the amount of acid, you could actually probably have a little bit of a heavier body and still be fine. I would say if your body was any lighter, the amount of acid would probably throw it off, and then you'd be kind of into this more of like a tannic, acidic water than more of a wine. So it is good where it's at. Could it use a little bit more body? Yeah, but it's not out of balance where it is, so full point. Length, medium finish, half a point. In terms of intensity, I'm gonna say it's pretty much medium across the board. It's medium on the nose, it's medium on the palate. That kind of primary element, the fruit, is a little bit stronger than the secondary and the tertiary, but whenever you kind of even it all out, it kind of comes out to the middle, so half a point. And in terms of complexity, I do like the fact that there's a reasonable amount of primary fruit. There are some secondary elements. There's a touch of tertiary with that soil. But I mean, the soil's not fully developed, and there's room for improvement on the tertiary. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 2/3 of a point. So in the end, I'm going to give this wine a very solid good, starting to lean towards very good. Like I said, I think if it had a little bit more body, that could help out a little bit more, not in terms of the score, just in terms of the overall palate feel. Letting it develop a little bit more in the bottle, allowing some of that tertiary to develop, will add more complexity, and it might also actually improve the finish as well. So overall, it's not a bad wine whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it's good. Anyway, this has been Stuart with Wine on the Dime. If you liked today's video, please like, subscribe, and comment. Have you had the 2021 Ardoit? I'd be interested to know if you have. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you all again soon with another episode from Wine on the Dime. And don't forget, 8 p.m. Central tomorrow. #PinkSociety on Twitter. Come learn about Seabold Cellars, and I'll see you all there.